Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Code with Sunny, and in this video we'll be talking about the problem odd number of this December circuits. So let's begin. If you haven't read out this problem, I would ask you to read the problem at least once. Let's start for this problem. You are given an array A of length n, and you are also supposed to handle q queries, and for each query you would be given two integers L and R. Obviously L is going to be less than or equal to R. For each query, find the number of tuples I, j, k that satisfy this condition. Like I, j, k are going to be pairwise distinct, and I must be less than j, like strictly less than j, strictly, and j must be strictly less than k, and I and k would be like greater than or equal to L, and k is going to be less than or equal to R respectively, such that if we choose these tuples, the numbers represented by them is going to be AI, AJ and AK. If we sum up these numbers, it is going to be an odd number. You need to find the number of tuples that you are going to have for each query in the range L to R. Okay, so let's look out the queries. You can see queries is going to be 10 raised to the power 5. So you need to find an efficient way to find out the following number of tuples for each query. Okay, so let's start to understand this problem in detail. Like for each query, you'd given some range, like the range is going to be L to R. Okay, and you need to find number of tuples I, j, k. Okay, such that if you sum up the numbers AI, it would be something like this: AI plus AJ plus AK, and this sum is going to be an odd number. Okay, so how will you find out the number of tuples for each range L to R? So let's try to understand by analyzing all the possible cases. Now let me write down AI plus AJ plus AK. This is going to be an odd number. Okay, right? So can we find out the number of possible cases where these three sums is going to be like these three sums will give an odd number? So let me write down case 1. Okay, so how the sum is going to be like an odd number? So if the first number is like all the three numbers are going to be an odd number, then we can say yes, our sum is also an odd number. Okay, so then our sum will also be an odd number. Okay, so let's take an example. If you are like having some doubts, suppose 5 plus 3 plus let's say 9. Okay, if you find out the sum, it is coming out to be 8, and 9 and 8 is nothing but 17, which is an odd number, because odd plus odd is always an even number, and then even plus odd is always an odd number. Okay, so we are going to have an odd number if all the three numbers are going to be odd. Okay, so let's write down case 2. Okay, so what is our case 2 that will give us the odd number? So what will happen if I will pick two even numbers and one odd number? Okay, that will also give an odd number because you know even plus even is nothing but even, then even plus odd is odd. Okay, so if you pick up two even numbers and one odd number, then the resulting sum will always be an odd number. So can we have any more cases like all even, even plus even, which is obviously not an odd number? Or we can have one even and two odd. Two odd will give us one even, and even plus even, which is also even. So there are only two cases, right? So if we are able to pick up three odd numbers in the given range, it will give us the odd number. If we are able to pick up two even number and one odd number, it will give us the odd number. Okay, so now we need to handle the queries efficiently. Handling queries efficiently. Okay, now you have queries that is maximum up to 10 raised to the power 5. Okay, so for each query we will try to answer in O of 1 time for each query. for each, let me write down for each query. So in the each query, we have the range from L to R. Okay, so we need to find out the tuples, and the tuples that will be chosen will always satisfy these two conditions. Okay, like either of these two conditions. So we will add up the ways for each conditions. Okay, so suppose in range from L to R, we have, let's say, X amount of odd numbers, in range L to R, and we have Y amount of even numbers in range from L to R, such that X plus Y is equal to R minus L plus 1, which is nothing but the length of the range. Okay, so our answer for each query, okay, so let me write down in the next page, that would be better. So answer for each query will be the sum of these two cases. Okay, so you can see our answer will be, so if I will consider the case 1, that is if you are able to choose all the three numbers as odd, and we have X amount of odd numbers, right? So let me write down over here first. X is nothing but odd count in range from L to R, and Y is nothing but even count. Okay, so if we have X amount of odd numbers, we will choose X C3. Okay, C is going to be the binomial coefficient. If you evaluate this, let me write down answer 1. Okay, so we will have two answers for each of the two cases. So X C3 is nothing but X into X minus 1 into X minus 2 upon 3, 2, 1, which is nothing but X minus 1, X minus 2 upon 6. So this is our answer 1. Okay, so let's evaluate the answer 2. Answer 2 is nothing but, if you look at the case 2, you have to choose two even numbers and one odd number. Okay, so what you will do is, choosing the odd number is going to be X, and your answer will be multiplied by, you have to choose two even numbers, so Y C2. Okay, so if you evaluate this expression, you will get X into Y minus 1 upon 2. So this will be your answer. So let's write down the final answer for each query. So let me write down answer for each query is going to be answer equal to X into X minus 1, X minus 2 upon 6. This is for the case 1, plus X will be the odd count, then Y into Y minus 1 upon 2. This is for the case 2. Okay, so where X is going to be the count O and Y is going to be count even, where X plus Y is nothing but R minus L plus 1. Okay, now your task is going to be simplified, like is simplified actually. So you need to just find out the values of X and Y. You need to find out these values. If you are able to do that, you can just find out the answer for each query. So how will you find out the values of X and Y? Okay, so you just need to maintain the prefix sum for odd as well as even. Okay, so suppose you have an array, let's say A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Okay, if you maintain the prefix sum, it will be something like this: A1 plus A2, then A1 plus A2 plus A3, and so on. Okay, so if you have been given the range L to R, and you need to find out the number of sum of the numbers in range from L to R, so what you will do is, you will just subtract something like this from sum of R minus sum of L minus 1. So you will get the sum of the numbers in range from L to R. So the same concept that we are going to use to find out the number of numbers in a number of odd numbers in range from L to R. So in our array, which is A1, A2, A3, and so on, An. So if Ai is odd, then what you will do is, we will just mark P of I. So P of I will just denote whether it is going to be odd or not. So P of I as 1, otherwise P of I is equal to 0. So then we will find out the prefix sum. Then find prefix sum of array P. So if you are able to find out the prefix sum of such array P, where Pi is 1 if the number is going to be an odd number. So if you have been given the range L to R, so if we need to find out the number of odd numbers in the range from L to R, then what we will do is we'll just write down S of R minus S of L minus 1, where S of I is nothing but a prefix sum of array P. Okay, so we will get the number of odd numbers in range from L to R. So let's look out the code how we are going to just implement that efficiently for each query. Okay, so I have written down odd, 3 odd will give us an odd number, and similarly 2 even and 1 odd will give us the odd number. So we have this NNQ. Okay, so we will take the input. Now we have this array A, and we will just maintain the prefix sum also. So if AI is odd, we just increment P sum of I, which is nothing but which will store the prefix sum. So P sum of I is nothing but P sum of I minus 1 plus P sum of I, which is the prefix sum up to I. So for each query, we will find out the odd numbers, which is P sum of R minus P sum of L minus 1. So if this value gives us the number of odd numbers in range L to R, so number of even numbers will be the length of the range minus this will be the length of the range R minus L plus 1 minus the number of odd numbers, which will give us the even numbers. So our answer is 2 case. This is the first case and this is the second case. Okay, so for the first case we are going to choose 3 odd numbers whose value will be given by this expression, and next we are going to choose 2 even numbers and 1 odd number whose value is given by this expression. We will add up those 2 values, and finally we will print up the answer for each query in O of 1 time. Okay, so overall complexity will be O of n for building this prefix sum array, and space complexity is O of n, and for each query we are just answering in O of 1 time, which is a constant time. So if you have any queries, you can reach out to me through the comment section of the video, and thank you for watching this video.